Hey, Baco family. Kind of just wanted to continue the origin story for Baco Eyewear for those who don't know. Um, yeah, I when I first started out, I was doing car title loans to produce product, but selling it just out of the trunk of my car. And you know, I would go around to shops and stores nearby, local mom and pop shops, and like kind of beg them to carry the product. And I never got any of them to like actually buy the product, but what a few of them did was sort of bring it in on consignment, where you like leave the product there, they put it out on display, and if somebody buys it, then I get 50% and they get 50%. Generally, how consignment goes. And that worked minimally. Like, it wasn't that successful at all, but it's the only thing I knew. And one day, I was doing a day labor gig, and I was literally hip deep in garbage in this hoarder house. The people had died, and insurance company had paid to have some people go there and just clean out all the garbage. We filled a few different dumpsters with these people's disgusting garbage. But the guy I was working with had a contact, somebody he knew, who could get me in to do like an event. And I called the guy on my lunch break. I got to take that opportunity. That's a hot tip, you know. And so I called the guy, and he was a promoter for like a farmer's market in Bend, Oregon, the Northwest Crossing Farmers Market. And he was excited that I'd called and said he had a spot for me at the show, and I signed up, just like agreed to do it over the phone. Like, yes, I don't know anything about this event, but I will take any opportunity I can get. And so my first my first bunch of shows at the Northwest Crossing Farmers Market were laughably bad. I mean, I had like an $80 tent from Walmart and like literally just like plastic sheet tablecloths, and like just it was just the worst display ever. But people bought the shades. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my god, I made $150. That was like more than a full day's work at the time for me. I was working for $88 a day. Like that was my take-home pay doing day labor, was $88 and change. And so I was like, that's almost 2 days worth of work if I can sell 15 pairs of shades for $10. I was just doing these like I had one style. It was like Wayfarers, one style, and I had it in as many colors as I could afford, non-polarized, just regular um, UV shades. And so I was selling them for $10. And I was like, I sold 15 pairs of shades today. I was stoked because I desperately needed that money. And so I just kept doing that and trying to like improve it a little bit at a time. Like, oh man, maybe I can afford a cloth tablecloth now instead of these crappy plastic ones that I get 3 for $1 at Walmart. And just sort of built it one baby step at a time, 1 billion baby steps. And every time I would anything that didn't get spent on food and just the bare essentials. I had to have a cell phone, and you gotta eat. And that was pretty much all I spent money on for like 5 years, pretty much. Certainly, the 3 years that I was in this really bad position, and anything extra that I had went into making my market display better and improving the product. And that's been the case like ever since. I live super lean. I live more lean than anybody I know. The only thing that's increased uh, personally since then is the quality of the food that I eat, and I buy clothing when I need it instead of when it's falling apart. Um, in any case, uh, I basically built it a little bit at a time, and then I got a couple people, some advice from a couple of people who were like, "You should go to Florida in the winter because that's when all the events are down there. It's opposite of here." And I took that advice. That was after my first season doing the Northwest Crossing Farmers Market. I'm like, well, I can follow up and keep doing more of those events down there. It took a while. I came down and I was trying to figure out how to make it happen, but I eventually stumbled my way into some opportunity. And once I had that continuity of summer in Bend and winter in Florida, where I could do continuous markets, go from one season to another, I didn't have to hang it up in the winter and go push chairs at Bachelor or go friggin' roofing on ice covered roofs in Black Butte. You know, like I could keep it going, and that's what made it so that I could actually go full time instead of just making it be like a super time consuming and expensive hobby. And that really was what turned the corner for Baco Eyewear, was the ability to come down here and do markets and develop a whole second customer base. And the thing about these events, these markets, is unlike a retail shop where there's just a product sitting on a shelf or on a display with no explanation of what it is or where it comes from, an event like a farmer's market has the opportunity to connect. And that's really what my strong suit is connecting with people, telling my origin story and having people realize like this is a nano business. It's not just a local small business. This is like a single person operation created out of thin air by one person who's just super dedicated to fantastic service and being a part of a small, close-knit local community. And so to be able to sort of spread that word and connect directly with people, answer a question, have people try on a product in the environment they're going to use it in anyways, really has been the thing that works for Baco. And that's how we've grown from nothing to where we are now. And so I think I'm going to continue this story in another few sections. But yeah, it's this amazing like growth story, right? Like this against all odds kind of thing. I'm inspired just by talking about it. It's part of the reason why I'm doing it, as I was feeling a little bit down and wanted to find my gratitude. And so I wanted to tell you guys just about this, like what I consider like a tremendous success story. And yeah, I'm basically gonna part it all out and share it to you guys one bit at a time. But I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.